How's about stuffing my inbox like it's the turkey at Christmas? Hi everybody, it's me, GhostCritic, and it is the 12th of December, which means there's only 13 more days till Christmas. But it also means you've only got 8 more days to vote in the YouTube Comic Book Community Best of 2013. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, check the link in the description bar below, watch the video and get your votes in. The categories are wide open at the moment. Anyone can be a winner right now. So yeah, get voting, fill my inbox right up. Thank you to everyone who has voted so far. There has been some very interesting and, to be honest, unusual nominations this year, but more, keep them coming. Again, 8 days to go. So this week was quite a short week for me. I've only got 4 comics to talk about, so let's get on with it. And this week we kick off with Wolverine and the X-Men issue 39, and as usual with this title we kind of have 2 concurrent stories going on at the same time. The first one, which is a bit is Wolverine and the Cyclops storyline. Both these characters are kind of converged on the secret shield base that has all these Sentinels housed within it, and it is just the usual old storyline of those two kind of bickering each other. I mean, these are 2 mutants that are like at the opposite ends of the spectrum in regards to what a mutant should be doing and be seen in the world today. And we just heard this over and over again. I mean, as far back as Schism, and you know, even further to be fair, but it's been very much more prevalent since Schism. And I'm just kind of bored of it now. I know these two don't like each other anymore, and move on, get over it, basically. But again, it is the second storyline that is the much more entertaining and much more interesting, and that is of course the one focused on the kids of the academy. Last issue we saw these 2 new inductees into the academy, and it was discovered by the end of the issue that they were actually kind of spies infiltrating the academy to find out all the students' kind of weaknesses, so they could overtake the academy to the point maybe where they're going to be killed. However, one of our 2 new students, old Try Joey, is having doubts. He's starting to build up friendships with the other students, and he actually starts to like them and like being at the school. But of course his partner, Squidface, she is very much the kind of militant part of the group, and she's there with a mission set by apparently Dazzler, but who is in fact Mystique, to take down the academy. So it's all kind of like, come on, man up, make the decision. In this issue you do find kind of a lot of secrets that the other students are hiding from everyone else, but still it's a brilliant, fun, interesting and more character driven, driving the characters of the students more. However, is this the last issue before it gets its revamp? Because I did say when I was reviewing the last issue that I was thinking of dropping this once it got relaunched, due to the fact that it was kind of getting all mixed up with the events that were going on, which I talked about in the last review. I just think really what they have to do is drop the Wolverine part of this title. Bring out another, I don't know, call it New Mutants, call it Generation X, but just fixate, obsess on the kids, because they are the best part of this title. They are fun, they are interesting. I want to know more about them with every issue, because you keep getting little like tidbits of, you know, what their characters are and what they're doing when no one's watching. Good issue, apart from the Wolverine and Cyclops bit. Now usually I make sure I've uploaded my video of the reviews of the week before I watch everyone else's, purely because I don't want to kind of be swayed by, you know, other people's opinions, because I'm easy like that. But this week, I don't know why, but I decided to watch Matt's review. Matt, Agent 42Q, Wednesday Serial, whatever he's called now. And he reviewed Batman issue 26. For his thoughts on it, I'll put a link to the video in the description below. Go and watch it. I agree with a lot of what he said. Basically, I feel that Scott Snyder wants this kind of 0-year event to be the kind of defining Batman story of our new 52 at least. And to be honest, I'm so, at the moment, so underwhelmed by it. It just seems to be a very choppy, schizophrenic mess. And it's a shame. Because there are elements that are fun to read. I mean, it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Capullo's art I still love on here, and I hope he stays for a long time, even if Snyder goes. But there is just too much going on in this issue. You've got the kind of Dr. Death storyline at the start of it. You have this brief glimpse to, I don't know whether it's a past Bruce Wayne or a slightly in the future Bruce Wayne, but he's imprisoned in this metal ball. You've got the friction going on between Bruce Wayne and James Gordon. You find out that James Gordon may not have been as squeaky clean as he has recently been portrayed. And then you have that ambush at the end from, I don't know if he's a detective, but Loeb with the Batman, that just makes no sense whatsoever. And there's no Riddler in it. You have this blackout done by the Riddler. You have this oncoming storm that seems to be taking forever to get here. But it's all just this mess. And it's the to and froing of supposed time eras frames. And it's just a very difficult book to read at the moment. Maybe it's one for trade, but Snyder, I feel, is trying to make an epic, and at the moment it's far from it. Matt said in his video, you know, maybe, or this is what I got from it, you know, maybe it's because the past storylines and events he's done, like the Court of Owls, Death of the Family, they were new stories within, you know, our Batman canon of work. And this is very much treading old ground from the pre-52 universe, although, you know, you've got your Snyder twist on it, but it does seem to be going over a lot of stuff that we already knew, and so that kind of epic feel has been lost. It's not like I'm going to give this title up, it's just not there for me, and I'm a bit of a completist. I've got to have the next issue. From Image this week we get issue 2 of Alex and Ada, and if you're the kind of person that wants their comic books full of action and, you know, momentum and speed, this is not the title for you. Not that it's at all a bad comic. I like this a lot. It's a very endearing and sweet, if a little creepy kind of title, but it certainly doesn't move very fast. There is a story to be told here, and Jonathan Luna is going to take his time, and for that I appreciate it. We got at the end of the last issue that Alex's grandmother had bought him one of these, you know, sophisticated robot androids that look and feel and do everything a normal human being can do. What this title basically does throughout is kind of gives us the do's and don'ts, what Ada can and cannot do. Basically, you could call this a manual. And of course, Alex is a bit perturbed by this. He didn't want it. He's still kind of suffering from the breakup of his last girlfriend. And there is this kind of, I guess, moral dilemma of whether he should keep it or not. I don't really think I'm going to spoil anything here, given the title is Alex and Ada, in the fact that she does stay. I'm hoping that Jonathan Luna isn't setting this story in the way that Ada is going to be the way that Alex comes to terms and then moves on from his ex-girlfriend. I hope it's not as simple as that. We'll see. It's just a very simple, sedentary, moving book. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you want a comic book that, you know, just slows you down a little. And finally, Astro City, Vertigo, issue 7, and we have the start of what I think is a 4-issue mini kind of story arc. And this is a lot more to do with our superheroes, rather than seeing it from, you know, the kind of civilian stance. Although we have the start of this issue and, you know, we get little bits in between of this young boy who is clearly, I don't know whether he's been beaten up, assaulted, or it's just been his hard kind of trek to where our main character lives at Samothrace. This story is very much about Winged Victory. She's a superhero in our Astro City universe, and she has this kind of training camp where she trains women, not necessarily superheroes from what I gather. This is just to, it's kind of like, not even, I don't even know if it's an army as such, but just to make them strong, independent, being able to defend themselves. And we get to learn about a Winged Victory and her life previous. So we get the setup of how she got her powers. We also find out about, there seems to be some past that's a little bit dodgy about her. She's not the most loved of superheroes within the Astro City universe. She's done some things that humanity have seen as, you know, a bit iffy, but it's the kickoff of this kind of setup to the story where Winged Victory seems to be being framed and to tarnish her already kind of wonky reputation. And the news comes out that there's some super villains, and they are saying that it was Winged Victory that trained them, and she is some sort of kind of, I don't know, some like mob boss, which seems to be clearly not the case. Another great issue from Busiek. I'm not overwhelmed by Anderson's artwork in here. I know it's been there throughout, but this issue just seemed a little bit murky. Maybe it's just his artwork. He's been on this title before. I guess it's that kind of golden age feel that Busiek likes to throw into his issues, but by no means a terrible comic. It was really good. I'm really excited for this storyline. I've wanted it to be more than just kind of a done-in-one storyline like the last few issues have been. So to get a nice meaty story arc for a change is something I'm going to be looking forward to. Astro City, good comic. And that's it, it's over. Yes, 4 comics done and dusted. Thank you all for watching. If this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button so you won't miss out on another video. Give it a big thumbs up, because I like thumbs up. and put some comments in the bottom in the comment box below, and I'll do my best to reply to as many as I can. Hopefully next week will be a bigger week to talk about, and I'm going to remind you once again, get your votes in. Video in the description bar. Have a good week everyone. Bye bye.